I'm looking. Here it is.
Rachel is part of a scavenger hunt. The rain held off long enough for 10 young leaders to scour the pathways for clues at John Dillon Park in the Adirondacks.
So have you guys found the clue?
We found the clue, but it was in a box.
The game is just one facet of a week-long mentorship program for young women and non-binary teenagers with disabilities.
Some of the things that the young leaders are learning include everything from how to build a fire to tie-dyeing, fun camp activities, but also they're learning how to ask for help if they need it and learning how to build those independent living skills. They are also learning how to cook. They are helping us prepare all of our meals, so cutting, prepping, cooking.
According to 2021 data from the U.S. Census Bureau, people with disabilities make up approximately 13% of the civilian population. This group includes those with hearing, vision, cognitive, walking, self-care, or independent living difficulties. Because they are marginalized, their needs are often left unchecked, which is why Empowered Disability Network exists, to cultivate young leaders with powerful voices ready to make big changes.
Empower Camp is a new organization and a new program, but we really thrive on making women be the leaders, making women with disabilities lead, which is not something you see. And so that is something that I think we're breaking down, that stigma of putting women with disabilities in that leadership role. It is statistically known that people with disabilities are at a higher risk during emergency situations and natural disasters, and we wanted to bring light to that. We wanted to show that this is an important topic and it needs to be addressed.
Although most people in everyday life do not come across people with a disability, we do exist. So a lot of the times there aren't proper protocols in place for when things like active shooters happen. Most of the time, everybody I have talked to, the protocol is usually just stick us in a room. That is not safe. Being that worst case scenario, if first responders can't get to us, a sitting duck is a dead duck. So you have to have some type of policy and protocol in place, which is what I have learned.
These young leaders are working to put those policies and protocols in place locally and nationally, and they work all year long to do it. Each young leader is paired with a mentor. After the skill building camp is over, they'll work on a project with their mentor involving inclusive disaster strategies. And when the year is over, these leaders will head to Washington, D.C. to have their voices heard.
My project for this next year is going to be surrounding the topic of evacuation procedures for individuals with disabilities surrounding active shooter protocols. And I'm not sure if that's where they're going to be giving training to first responders and teachers or evacuation chairs. I'm not really sure what it will look like at the end, but that is what I'm starting off with. It'll be my first time in Washington, actually, and very first time doing something as big as this, so yeah, I'm excited but extremely nervous. Hopefully I get some type of change going though.
Just seeing the young leaders in Washington, D.C. thriving, talking to their senators, is huge. And it may be an hour out of the senator's day, but it's something that I really think that they will remember because that's not something you see often.
Advocating for change can happen on a local level too.
The goal is change. The goal is to have this project and to implement change in the community that they're in. It is a year-long project, so it's what they can get done in a year.
These budding leaders stay in touch well after the year is over. The friendships formed are beyond special, and for some, a long time coming.
This is the first time many of these girls have met other people with disabilities even. I think had I had something like this growing up, where I could have met other disabled girls my age and be able to talk with them about whether my disability experience, what is going on for me in school, either related to my disability or not, and just talk through some of the things that I didn't really feel comfortable talking to my other peers about who were not disabled. And having mentors who are also women with disabilities, successful women with disabilities.
At John Dillon Park in the Adirondacks, I'm Jolene DeRosier.